onye na-eme mma ụmụ ga-ekele gị chiọma onye na-eme mma ụmụ ga-ekele gị chiọma onye na-enye nwa onye na-enye ego onye na-eme mma ụmụ ga-ekele gị chiọma agbakụrụ ezuru ike Chukwu na-enye nwa onye na-eme mma ụmụ ga-ekele gị chiọma ọmakasị bịa ụwa Chukwu na-eme mmadụ onye na-eme mma ụmụ ga-ekele gị chiọma na mgbakwuru ezuru ike ọdọgwa kata aka chiọma onye na-eme mma ụmụ ga-ekele gị chiọma Chukwu okike m chiọma m jem n'udo onye na-eme mma ụmụ ga-ekele gị chiọma akọwa akụkọ ọrụ ọma gị Chike echichi ga-abụ otu isi eme ihe gị ọ na-abụ ụwagharị ọgaranya nkadanga ijiji jide mma onye wanyere ya ga-eri biko wanyere m ka nri ọmaka ndị nyere m arịsị ike nyere m mkpuchite ọrụ nyere m ka m ji kpụpụrụ gokpuo Chukwu nara ekele Chukwu nara otito ọ dị mma na-eme mma kiriri otito ihe mere asọgbu m Chukwu okike m nri nara dị m mma bịaribe ekele onye na-eme mma ụmụ ga-ekele gị chiọma onye na-eme mma ụmụ ga-ekele gị chiọma onye na-enye nwa onye na-enye ego onye na-eme mma ụmụ ga-ekele gị chiọma agbakụrụ ezuru ike Chukwu na-enye nwa onye na-eme mma ụmụ ga-ekele gị chiọma ọmakasị bịa ụwa Chukwu na-eme mmadụ onye na-eme mma ụmụ ga-ekele gị chiọma na mgbakwuru ezuru ike ọdọgwa kata aka chiọma onye na-eme mma ụmụ ga-ekele gị chiọma Chukwu okike m chiọma m jem n'udo onye na-eme mma ụmụ ga-ekele gị chiọma
Chukwu okike pụrụ ime ihe niile ụmụ ọdịnala Igbo Restoration Prime Minister ekele gị ụmụ children of the temple ekele gị ụmụ friends of the temple ekele gị ụmụaka Igbo ekele gị anyị na-asị gị n'imeela anyị na-asị gị ka iribe otuto ekele niile otuto niile na mbuli elu niile bụ iche isi niile ka ọ dịchasịara gị bụ Chineke onye ihe ọma niile si n'aka ya good morning viewers all over the world. Egwu Inubili now bụ egwu si na ngalaba na-afụ gbasara mgbasa ozi ọdịnala Igbo Ugochi na temple led by me a na-akpọ Nkwa Group. We have all the rights. Ọ bụrụ na ị like ya bụ egwu enụrụ kịta jee na audio mark the iTunes and rest of them the platforms you download ya bụ egwu. For some of you that are seeing me for the first time, kpọọ m Ogbuefi Eze-Ana Ugochi na Oraifite ma ọ bụ kpọkwazie m aka Jugo. Abụ m onye isi nchụaja na Ugochi na temple. Anyị na-agba afa miri emi lụkwazi ọrụ mmụọ dị iche iche. Abụkwazi m onye isi nchụaja na ọdịnala Restoration Evangelical Mission lụkwazi onye mgbasa ozi ọdịnala Igbo. So you can call me a priest or an evangelist, I will answer. My mission is to help people live better life. N'ụbọchị taa n'oge awa nke isiokwu. Isiokwu anyị ji wee bịa bụ all you need to know about your ancestors. All you need to know about your ancestors. Now I want today's topic. But before we dive into today's topic, echefuna na anyị ka na month of January. Our group ritual for the month is still ongoing. You can still join anywhere you are all over the world. Maka na ike Chukwu zuru mba. Yes. Jambunian, Ajipti, Ajesigoni, Buni Otokundi, and we have lots of testimonies. But as you all know, we don't share testimonies on social media or even in Eziokwu TV. You know why? It's not necessary, not why we are here. But I can tell you, the kid in Ajana actually, when the Chuba, they can carry it all. Now, this is what I go in my temple, Chuaja, go for Kubi, Sidri, all over the world. I get make it 2 hours till the last day of the month. We visit the waters with eatable waters. Mesaraka. Getting a pocket, collect and dimbly. Chuaji him na Hamadu. Bagotana temple. Chuaja to introduce some powers from a temple. Then even Chuaja way Mesaraka. I can tell you the kid in Ajana to me. Can you be so I wanted interested in this one. He gave me forward their 3 prayer requests. Make token donation to their account number. The chat is them now WhatsApp. I'm going to other details. We need for you in order to book you. Yes. WhatsApp number is what I'm more wanted interested in this one. I am going through it to us. Well, we know what I do when I'm going to talk about it. Chat me on WhatsApp 0805 7837 I repeat 0805 7837 Let's now proceed. And I can come back here. Topic of today, all you need to know about your ancestors. Now, having said this, I want to share this message. Invite your friends from the horse's mouth. One day mad about our administrations. Now let's proceed. Yeah, all you need to know about your ancestors. Who are those ancestors? Otherwise called sense. No. I went a call again. Na ihe na-esi na nke onye akaria. That your ancestors see from the paternal side or maternal side. I went again na nobody can love you more than your people. Because your DNA, your blood runs in your ancestral lineage. Yes. So Maki here, they are part of you. They Bonatu say one Igbo adage says, and I quote, so your father is a replica of your ancestors, representative of your ancestors. So whatever you are seeing your father, you are seeing your ancestors. So it's very good for you to establish cordial relationship between you and your ancestors. Starting from your father, your parents, your seed. Yes. I have told you, any race, any sense society that we play with the ancestors. World over, every religion celebrates their ancestors, the sense. Whether my body, just know. And whether my body ancestors, my body and chair, my body sense, it simply means the same thing. Your ancestors is the working Bobo one that once lived in your lineage before you, from the mother side and from your paternal side, that are all your people. And then again, you need to be celebrating them. Look at how is it possible for somebody to convince you that from your paternal side, from your maternal side, down to the creation, no one only have been under them by well. It's like casting aspersion on your person. I can tell you, do one any manner. I can tell you without fear or favor that there were so many people that once live in your lineage that live worthy life of emulation for your paternal side and your maternal side. I can tell you for fact. I remember when I began to do research concerning my lineage and or the Igbo spirituality in general. I met so many people. I know my father. He's a type of somebody that you can verify his personality when he was alive. He's a very peaceful person. Yes, I don't expect anybody to tell me about him because I know him very well. Before he passed on, I'm already a grown man. Yes, a full grown man. So, my ancestor, my grandfather, I did not meet him. So, but one thing I know, I met so many elders that knows him in person till today. as we speak now, I will still have one man, the oldest man in my own village, that still know my grandfather face to face. Yes. He told me why my grandfather, based on the investigation I made and what people said about him, he's a wine tapper, up wine, and a dibia, and also title holder. During his time, he is considered as a rich man then. Understand? Because each other broke with and somebody that is wealthy enough to be lending money to people is considered to be rich during their own time. So, but what I want to tell you that I met so many people, even the oldest man that passed on some years back in our clan is over 100 years, about 120 or so. I met him. He knows my grandfather one-on-one. He told me good things about him. And the man that is the oldest man now knows him very well. He told me good things about my grandfather. And I remember a story my mother told me about him. The story my mother told me is that when I was small, very small as a little baby, I had this convulsion. Yes. So she took me to one herbalist in our clan, yeah, our village. So he took me there after the man ministered so many other things, just a mark and then normal for convulsion. So after that, I became okay. And my mother asked him, how much will she pay for the services? The man laughed. After laughing, the man now said that, what my mother said, asked her, he said, there is no way he will accept money from her because of whom my grandfather was. That my grandfather used to be his friend. Then the man have died many years ago when I was even around less than 15 years then. So, but I know the man. So whenever he sees me, he call me the name of my grandfather. So my mother told me that man helped me when I was having convulsion. So the man refused to collect money. That is a long story. He refused to collect money, saying that based on what my grandfather did for him when he's just coming up, that my grandfather helped me a lot when he was even trying to establish his herbalist of a thing. So because of being nice to him, like my grandfather, and now there's no way he can collect money from anybody descendant of my grandfather. Are you seeing it? I can still tell you, this man, based on my investigation, I still know some plots of land we used to cultivate when I was in primary school. That land, we were told that particular land is not ours. However, that the rightful owner of that land used that land to borrow money from my grandfather. And my grandfather told his children, who happened to be, my father happened to be one of them, that that social land is not ours. That this land was used to borrow money from him. That anybody from that family came with Eze-Ana. That was then. That they should release that land to them. They should never add anything, any interest on it. And that is exactly what we did when eventually these people came to collect the land back. If I mention that money is very small, by the time they came to collect the land back. Are you getting me? So what I can tell you based on my own discussion about him, he was a good man. And for me, he's a good man. I don't know about your own, but I can tell you that if you pay attention to your ancestors, I can tell you that some of our ancestors live worthy life of emulation. That if you are comparing good things, life they lived then, and compare it with the so-called life of sense, you will see that there is no difference. Only that the church people canonize their people, the whites, as saints and call them saints. So, but I can tell you, your fathers and your mothers from your side, some of them live worthy life of emulation. And to me, some of them are saints. Yes. So don't allow anybody to begin to demonize your ancestors and telling you that they are demons and rest of. No, all this is the system the white man religion used to demonize our system of worship and to cast aspersion on our personalities. Let me tell you, you as a father, father or mother, your parents now, you are working hard to the best of your ability to raise your children. You sometimes you will go hungry to make sure that your children eat food, right? Okay, you keep suffering in that manner because you want the best for your children. How will you feel in the next 100 years to come? Me and you will no longer be here in the next 100 years. So in the next 100 years, when you must have joined your ancestors in the spirit world, and you are there, and you saw a descendant of your family in the spiritual realm, instead of hailing you, appreciating you, your effort, what he did for the family when you are still here on earth, he or she was busy calling Saint Anthony of Padua, calling Saint Francis of Assisi, and calling them and so on and so forth, and be hailing them. How will you feel? Won't you feel disappointed? Won't you feel embarrassed? Won't you feel that this person really let you down? That is exactly how your ancestors are feeling right now. If I ask you, when was the last time you celebrated your ancestors? Do you know that as you are laboring now, that your children might tomorrow, when you must have passed on, because you did not tell them the importance of celebrating their ancestors, they will go and call Ofonio Ofeke in the name of pastor or whatever. Or be an efficacy na cast na bind. Senior is responsible for their predicament, but you are not. So what I'm telling you, create a time when you celebrate your ancestors. Yes, me, I celebrate my own ancestors every first of every year. It has been a yearly celebration. So you on your own, you can start small, even if just to breaking of cola, to recognize them. Your ancestors are not evil. They are your forefathers that prayed that you should come. Ha bere yo amara, maka ụmụ ha ga-abụ n'ọdịnihu na family ha. Go for that no ụmụ ha ga-abụ na family na ọ ga-adịrị ha mma, which you are now one of the prayer answered. So what I'm saying is that your ancestors love you so much. Some of you will be asking that your ancestors did not do this or do that, or maybe build mansion for you. Let me tell you that your ancestors are pathfinder is enough. Because wherever you're claiming now to be your ancestral home, they are the pathfinders, they are the people that found that place. They gave you identity. Without them, you don't have any identity. Believe me. Do you know that why Americans celebrate their own forefathers, Christopher Columbus? They don't joke with him. Even that name, America celebrates him. Simple because he found the geophysical location known today and called America. That one alone is for them to celebrate him. Now, their fathers located this particular place, about your ancestral home. You know what he took them to? Some of them fought in order to occupy that particular place. What are you paying them today with? You call them bad names. You know that the Israelites can go to war if you talk anything ill against Abraham. They are always proud and say, I am Abraham. We are descendants of Abraham. They can go to war. But you, are you proud of even your ancestors? Some of you, if I ask you to mention the names of your ancestors, maybe to the 5th generation, can you count it? Can you be able to say, na onye mụtara m bụ onye dị etu a, onye mụtara nna m bụ onye dị etu a, onye mụtara nna m bụ onye dị etu a, onye mụtara nna m bụ onye dị etu a, to the 5th generation? Can you? You are not interested. But it is interested in taking record of Mungo Park stories of the successor of the previous government. but your own father's compound, you are not paying attention, you are not interested. Let me tell you what will happen to you. For the fact that you refuse to recognize your ancestors, your own children will not recognize you because you do not teach them the importance of doing so. When you pass on, nobody will celebrate you. In walk or cook. So what am I saying? Recognize your ancestors because other race, the knowledgeable, don't joke with your own ancestors. Even the Roman Church, I'm going to know God. Any 1st of November, they celebrate theirs. They will begin to call their names. Maria Goratio or Apollobis. They begin to mention all the names. Canonized names. They begin to mention them. They don't joke with it. Because they understand the importance of celebrating their worthy ancestors. So what I'm telling you is this. Recognize them because they are link. They are backbone. When was the last time, even if you don't have money to feed your ancestors, ordinary ewa poji, or even recognize them with word of mouth? This morning, I have gone to the temple to make declarations. Wap watch. Yes. Wap rohoj. You want to know you wap go to hoj. You wap go to hoj. But this morning, you come get all my ancestors. You're going to get all my ancestors. So what am I saying in essence is this. Make sure you recognize your ancestors. Because they are backbone. They are the forces that will stand by you. They will stand by you in all ramifications. They will go to war because of you, because of recognition. Let me tell you why you should know them and recognize them. If you are living in a house, there is this particular, maybe a teenager living there also. Every morning, once he sees you as an adult, he greets you, or he or she greets you very well. Sometimes if you are coming home with maybe loads, bags of loads, he come and help you out. And this particular teenager is so good to you. If for any reason, maybe you go out and you are coming back and you met this particular teenager having issues, maybe with some people, or maybe keke driver, whatever, over minor issues, or maybe money, definitely you will stop and say, what is the problem? And intervene. If it's me, I will stop and intervene because of that cordial relationship that has been in existence between me and the particular teenager. But if it's a teenager, is a very stubborn one. If he sees you in the morning, he doesn't greet you, he think that he cannot offer anything. You are not useful to him. If for any reason you encounter him where you having problem with some other people elsewhere, you might decide to walk away. Do as right. The same thing is what is happening to you. When you disrespect your ancestors, when you don't recognize them, when you don't know the importance of building personal relation, PR, with them, I can tell you, in the spiritual realm, you will be like an orphan in Warongabasi. No forces is saying, this is my son, this is our son, in whom we are well placed. Nothing should happen to him. So what I'm telling you is that you need to build a personal relation between you, your ancestors, from mother side and from the father side, so that when you open a more with old age here, they will always come to your aid and say, this is our beloved son. We don't joke with him. Nothing should happen to him. They will come to your aid. But if you do not pay attention, no establishment, no cordial relations between you and them, they might forget about you. Let me tell you, in the Igbo system, in the Igbo system, as an Igbo person, your paternal side and maternal side have hands in you. If you are the type that normally go to your ikunne and always and recognize them and respect them. From time to time, you guy who no matter how high the place anybody can be. Once from Namochi or Namochi, I will bend down. When you tap what can I so one year cobble or they can go and the high oh bless Yagi. So it one and the everyone and an abia. Anytime they are doing something in your maternal place, you go. Before you know it, they recognize you. And if anything is happened to you, they will come to your defense. As in no one or such one to ban you couldn't give you to cut that relationship with. If you don't build that relationship with them and they don't know you, also not to be they will not cut your head because they don't even know you. But if you build personal relationship with all your spiritual forces, your paternal and maternal forces, onwe ka ihe si eme gị ka esi atụ alo imegide gị na mmụọ ndị ụmụ mmụọ ndị nna nna gị ha si n'ikwu nne gị apụta ndị si n'ikwu nna na splash no na jiri ọnwa adịbe eme mgbọrọgwụ nothing will happen to you. They will come to your defense. If not, you don't recognize your paternal forces, you don't recognize your maternal forces, your ancestors, you don't recognize them. In the spiritual realm, you are like an orphan. Maybe in the world of physical, your mama still there, your father still there. But truly, in the spiritual realm, Eze-Ana made a decision. Let me tell you, before anything will happen in this gross material world, the thing must have taken on form in the spiritual realm. So that is where the formulation comes in. So once some of those things are formulated and sealed, it must happen. So all the that is, if you want to talk about sharing formula, talk about it when they are still in the process of sharing. Once sharing is done, there is nothing you can do. So begin today, as you are hearing this voice, begin to build personal relation between your paternal forces and maternal forces, because they are the ones that will stand by you, your ancestors. So take home from this message that from today, begin to recognize your ancestors. Believe in me, nobody will love you more than your own ancestor. Once you recognize your ancestors and be at peace with them, believe in me, they will be protecting you, they will grant you your wish from time to time. Let me stop here. If you have any question in today's lecture, or you want us to do the consultation for you, or you have any question, chat me on WhatsApp. But I can tell you from today, begin to recognize your ancestors. Even if you don't have money to offer any sacrifice, recognize them by mere word of mouth to show appreciation. I will know what I do. Send on my WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number remains 0805 7837 I repeat, 0805 7837 or 0813 8243 I repeat, 0813 8243 871. See you tomorrow. No go one case you. Abon on web you may the blessings of Chugo be with you. May you be favored. May you be protected. May the work of your hands begin to yield fruit. Now, to work, see you tomorrow.